Well, hello. It's time to walk and talk and stare at my shoes. It's your friendly neighborhood exiled Hollywood creative. And by that I mean I either left Hollywood with a bad taste in my mouth, or I was quietly exited from Hollywood. It doesn't really matter anymore. I'm no longer there, but I still think about it a lot. And it was a big part of my life. And, I went there a long time ago to become a screenwriter. And I started out with really almost no contacts. And I got a job in advertising with no contacts as a copywriter, and worked my way up to senior copywriter, and eventually I made it as a screenwriter, sort of. By sort of, I mean, I wouldn't say I made it. I was big time. I was small time, but I had a couple of big moments and flashes in the pan. I had a window of time where I was getting heat, and it was exciting. And like everyone will tell you, the heat for everyone dies away at some point. And then if you're good and you're tenacious and you've got it, you can probably have your second chapter, your third chapter, your fourth chapter. You can keep coming back in waves of heat. I didn't. My star faded, and then I kind of was chasing my tail for a long time, trying to figure out how to get that heat back. And I was very confident in myself, probably overly so. But I was choosing the wrong projects. I was listening to people to tell me what to do to make it back to where I was before. And I think I was picking things that did not properly utilize the brave instrument, to quote the name of this channel, that had gotten me in the door in the first place. So what got me into the thick of things in Hollywood was a script that was wholly, I was very passionate about it. It was very commercial, and it was, look at that river. Hello, river. It was very, I guess what you call, it was a big premise, and it got attention immediately. It won contests. I actually made a lot of money in contests. I got to quit my job and go to a prestigious fellowship because of the script, and it was exciting. And I got a big manager, and then a big agent, and then a big attorney, and it was exciting. And like every week I was taking meetings with all these major production companies and studios, and everybody wanted to work with me. Everybody. I mean, it's like, let's find something to work on together. And I mean, it was like a year prior, or 2 years prior perhaps, I had nothing going for me other than the projects that the spec stuff that I was writing, and that was it. And no one wanted to to work with little old me. And then suddenly everyone wanted to find something, and it was hard to say no. And I said yes and maybe to a lot of stuff, and I just got overloaded. And I think it happens to a lot of writers, and they try to tell you, don't make that mistake, but I'm going to tie my shoe. But I made it, and you know what? I don't know if there's any. I think that's one of those lessons you just have to learn. I think some people are really, really smart about it. They just have that preternatural instinct, and they just choose wisely from the jump. But I didn't. I mean, if I had to do it over again, of course I'd do so many things differently. But I think about 2.5 years into the flame, I was starting to hit like a wall, a slow wall. And I was going out for things that I was still told were big deal assignments, paid writing assignments, but they were just sort of like fishing expeditions with studios, and I wasn't really, seemed like I was just grasping at straws with these things, and I wasn't landing them, I wasn't selling anything. And you're supposed to write your own spec like once every 6 months, I think every agent would love you to churn one out every 3 months. But because I'd said yes to kind of another spec project with a huge producer, I couldn't really, I was stuck on that, and I was stuck on an assignment that I was writing, and it was, I couldn't make enough room for my own stuff. So I was juggling a few things at once. I was juggling 2 assignments, and then also a fake assignment, meaning a spec script with a big producer, and then another spec script that we were trying to get sold, and then it just, a Kevin James project came up and kind of took the wind out of it. We were actually going to go to Kevin James because people were interested, and then I found out gosh, that's another story. Anyways, all that to say, I slowly watched the fire fade. My campfire went down to little embers, and it left me thinking, I'm not real happy with this. And now I'm just kind of chasing any loose idea, and I feel sloppy and undisciplined, and I'm just asking my manager every other day, is this good? Is this good? Do you like this? And he's like, no, next. And I'm like, after, the 10th time of bringing like several pages of ideas to your manager and him going, it's almost like on American Idol when, what's his name, used to say, it's pitchy, dog. I felt like that was the answer for everything. It was always pitchy, dog. It's like, well, it's execution dependent. And I'll tell you what, that became everything. I was like, I eventually have to prove all the fun ideas to me are going to be execution dependent. Hello, buddy. And and I just got to the point where I couldn't, I was like, what am I doing? And am I going to spend another 5 years on this hamster wheel with maybe an occasional, cheap ass assignment fee? Because at the lower end, you're not getting paid a bundle to write those things. You're getting paid, it sounds good, but it's kind of, once everyone gets their cut, including Uncle Sam, you're looking at you might as well be selling, carpeting supplies in North Hollywood. It's just not a great ratio. You have to put a whole bunch of those together every year, and I was not good at that, because my curse and my blessing is that I have to fall in love with something to really make it magic. And once I fall in love with it, and I want to build out the world completely so everything makes total sense, and that it feels lived in, even if it's a fantasy or a wildly comedic premise. I want to make it feel as if it could exist or be real. But you really don't have the time in Hollywood to do that kind of stuff. Looking back now, it's clear. I was like, I wanted to bring every baby through toddler stage and watch it till graduation. It's like, no. You just gotta get it up on his feet, sell it, and then run to the bank. But I guess, it's as an exile of that world these days. when I look at movies and TV shows. There's a lot that I just don't care to look at. Not out of bitterness or sour grapes or jealousy, envy, but it's really, I just see a lot of people making a lot of crap. It is a product. It is, consume product, repeat, write product, consume product. There's not a lot of special things that come along anymore. I mean, and I think everybody knows it, feels it. I mean, I think we all watched everything that we could possibly watch through COVID, and that sort of broke everyone's brain. But it was already on the way. A lot of movies are just, I don't feel like people know how to tell stories about good and evil so well anymore. People's ideology gets all over the place, and it kind of messes up the soup. It's like putting a little too much salt in there. Salt is good, but too much, and it's like, ugh, throw that whole thing out. So I feel sorry for some writers, for the older writers that aren't getting the jobs that they used to, or they're having to suck it up and take the pittance. You hear stories about how it's pretty bad for the town. I don't make my living selling scripts anymore, and I really only did that for a narrow window of time. And but I tell you what, for the newer writers who, this is their dream, I guess I just want to put my arm around them and say it's going to be okay. And I hope that it breaks in your favor. I think for me, I really want to tell the beautiful, beautiful story that I will be proud of and that I can own. I think that's it. And I realize it's going to be hard to tell a beautiful story, even in a comedy or a kind of like a genre film. It's hard. That's kind of my goal, my passion. But to tell it in a beautiful way, and then to basically own it or own a piece of it, even to say, yeah, I wrote that. It's so hard now with the way that, from what I understand, deals are set up, and studios just hire and fire writers until they have a zillion drafts, and then they parse it out and go. And it's very rare that you get, story by credit or written by. And it's a hell of a bad way to make a living now, I think, unless you're young and you are the perfect casting choice for the modern TV writer or film writer. And I've aged out, and I'm probably the wrong pick your stereotype at this point. So for those people who want to tell a beautiful story in whatever creative field you are in, whether it is screenwriting or novels, poetry, advertising, plumbing, dance, theater, I don't know, whatever it is, I just want to say this to you today. I want to encourage you and say that I think you should go for it. I think you should be brave. I think you should expect more. That you shouldn't let cynicism make you frightened, or let it close the walls in around you so that you think you have to deliver mediocrity, or you have to dream small. Oh, I'm hoping you'll dream big for my sake, because I want to see beautiful things out there, and I want to rejoice with you when you nail it, when you stick that landing. Really do. And also, if you listen this far, the little thing I like to do is just pray for you. Wherever you are, whoever you are that's listening right now, I feel compelled to pray, so I'm gonna pray. If you want to tune out, that's cool. Here we go. Lord Jesus, you are so good to us. You're so good to me. You gave me all these gifts, and whoever is listening, Lord, I don't think it's an accident that they're listening, and I just want to pray a blessing on them, that they would feel encouraged, that they would not feel alone, that you would speak into their lives, give them the courage to write things, to paint things, to act things, to perform things that make them proud, that make the world a better place, that encourage others, that shows love and brings love to others, and kindness and goodness. And Lord, I just pray, whatever they're going through in their personal life, you would walk with them this day and just speak to them. I pray this in your name and thanking you. Amen. And that's all I got. I'll talk to you with different shoes at another time.